Grove.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a pleasure for me to rise to talk about Budget 2022, what the Liberals are calling a plan to grow our economy and to make life more affordable. So I thought I would put that audacious claim to a test against reality on the ground. Inflation at a generational high. House prices out of reach for most first-time buyers. Price of gas soaring. $2.36 a litre in my home in the Lower Mainland. And now interest rates creeping up with promise of more to come as the Bank of Canada seeks to fight this inflation. Madam Speaker, this is hardly a formula for making life more affordable. Now, we're going to hear in a minute about what the current Minister of Finance says, but I want to just draw your attention to what the former Minister of Finance has said, now that he's no longer tethered to the talking points of the Liberal Party. This is what he says about the government of which he used to be a part. Quote, so much time and energy was spent on finding ways to redistribute Canada's wealth that there's little attention given to the importance of increasing our collective prosperity, let alone developing a disciplined way of thinking and acting on the problem. So there you go, Madam Speaker. This is what Bill Morneau said to a recent Chamber of Commerce. The emphasis is on wealth distribution, not on wealth creation. So we talk about dividing the pie, we're not talking about growing the pie. And so that thinking has led to reduced economic productivity numbers. Let's compare us to our biggest trading partner, the United States, where the average worker earns $67,000 a year, and in Canada that's only $50,000, so 25% lower productivity number. The average American worker pumps $66 per hour worked into the national GDP. In Canada, it's only $50, so again, a 20% reduction. Now, this is Canada's Achilles heel, this lag in productivity, and I'm so happy that the current Minister of Finance has acknowledged that in her budget report. Get to that in a minute. First, I want to talk about housing. We're all happy to hear that the government has finally acknowledged that economic fundamentals are at play here, that the free market can help us find solutions, and that the federal government can help by leveraging monetary policy in a way that helps private enterprise find solutions. Now, here's a quote from page 6 of the budget report. Over the next 10 years, we will double the number of homes we build. This must become a great national effort. It'll depend on a new spirit of collaboration underlined. Provinces and territories, cities and towns, private sector and nonprofits, all working together with us to build the homes that Canadians need. Now, this sounds very optimistic, but again, I want to test this against reality on the ground. Now, my riding of Langley-Aldergrove has been ground zero for Canada's housing affordability, but there's also a housing construction boom going on thanks to many hard-working men and women working in the housing industry and answering the call to meet the demand for new housing. But I want to highlight the work of one company, one man in particular, that is Mr. Sean Bouchard, who heads up Quadra Homes, one of the bigger builders in the Lower Mainland. He and his business partners stepped up to the Prime Minister's challenge for private enterprise to come up with big ideas to solve our housing affordability crisis. And this is what he and his partners have done. They've taken one of their upcoming for-profit market condo projects, and they want to convert it into an affordable rental housing project. They put in an application with the Township of Langley. The Township agreed with them. They've actually contributed $27 million to the project in the form of foregone fees and charges. So now Mr. Bouchard and his partners are looking to the federal government to come to the table too in this spirit of collaboration that the Minister of Finance likes to talk about. And all they're looking for is a long-term, guaranteed, low-interest mortgage commitment from CMHC through the Rental Construction Financing Initiative. They put in a presentation to the current Minister of Housing, and they are being ignored. I advocated for it. I contacted the Minister's office. We are being ignored. I met with Mr. Bouchard just on the weekend, and he and his partners have to make a final investment decision. They're going back to a market condo project. So much for creative thinking, so much for collaboration. Once again, Madam Speaker, this government gets an A for announcements and an F on delivery. With a couple of minutes I have left, I want to talk about what the Minister of Finance calls Canada's Achilles heel, our lagging productivity numbers. Now, we've heard from witnesses in committee that Canada indeed does have highly educated workforce. We have the best research universities in the country. We've got lots of potential to compete with Silicon Valley. But here's the problem. While we are very good at technology startup, we're not very good about technology ramping up, scaling up into productive corporations. Investment dollars follow great ideas follow investment dollars, and that unfortunately is happening in the United States, in the European Union, and sadly also in China. Now, in an exchange that I had with one of the witnesses, I said, so are you saying that a company like Huawei gives research grants to universities and then they walk out the back door with the intellectual property assets? And he says, well, just one small correction. They walk out the front door with it. So, Madam Speaker, I'm very encouraged that the Minister of Finance is now recognizing this as a problem. A couple of quotes. She says this: "This is a well-known Canadian problem and an insidious one. It is time for Canada to tackle it. We will encourage small companies, Canadian companies, to get bigger. And we will encourage Canadians and Canadian companies to develop new intellectual property, turn their new ideas and new businesses into new businesses and new jobs." Now, notably, she doesn't say in Canada for Canadians, but I'm assuming that was just an oversight, but perhaps not. So, Madam Speaker, I want to end on a positive note, because I'm a positive kind of a person. I'm hopeful that with the Minister of Finance now putting in writing her acknowledgement that Canada has a productivity problem, that the government is now going to get serious about solving the problem. But then, again, given the well-known emphasis on dividing the pie rather than growing it, I'm not holding my breath. I'm sorry, Madam Speaker, that's as positive as I can be about this budget. Thank you.